This is Hunt Nebraska, the official podcast for insight into Nebraska's hunting and shooting sports community. Be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, our space for sharing stories, information, tips, and techniques. Now, Hunt Nebraska. We all made it back in. Welcome to the Hunt Nebraska cabin once more. Right here we've got the Jeff Rawlinson from the Nebraska Game and Parks. We got our friend from the National Wild Turkey Federation sitting in, Michael Addison. Also from She Goes Outdoors and the upcoming Becoming an Outdoors Woman program, Julia Plugi. Thanks for joining us, Julia.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
And I'm Hershey. We appreciate you taking us along for the ride into work, into the home, wherever you might be listening to us. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, so you know when each and every one of these becomes freshly available online. We're going to have some fun today, folks. We're going to find out a little bit more about the Hunt Nebraska crew, as well as She Goes Outdoors and our sporting thoughts and minds. We're going to play a little game once again based on something that we've all probably played before or sat around and discussed and all that. But before we get there, some exciting news happening. Jeff, the new act that just passed, I mean unanimously passed.
Boy,
there was only, out of how many hundreds of votes, there was only one nay.
One dissenting
One
vote.
dissenting
vote.
Give us the lowdown.
I'm not sure they knew, but bottom line is 51-10 passed, and that is the amendment to the Safer Neighborhoods Act. And what had happened is, it's kind of one of those deals where you think, man, good intentions, right? But it's not enough sometimes. The Safe Neighborhoods Act that was passed earlier this year was an effort to curtail any federal funding that schools might use when it comes to training with firearms or weapons or what have you. Now, I think it was really more for keeping schools from training teachers and other adults in schools, and they wanted to make sure they didn't want that to happen, or didn't want federal funds to be used for that. However, the Department of Education, who had to make a ruling on how they interpret the new law and understand that anytime a law is passed, whether it be a congressional law, a state statute, or a regulation, what have you, as soon as the ink is the ink's not even dry, and people always start interpreting what it means, because once it's written down, it means whatever somebody can interpret it to mean. And the Department of Education interpreted that it means that they would not allow federal funds to be used for any program in schools, even the incredibly successful hunter education and incredibly successful National Archery in the Schools program, which has taught millions of kids across North America archery skills and safety and ethics, responsibility, and hunter education along with that. So that was a huge issue we were really concerned about. The drafters of the bill even stood up and said, hey, it was bipartisan, Republican and Democrat said, hey, this is not what the bill was intended to be. And of course, Department of Education said, well, if you want it to say it that, then you need to word it differently. Well, they read it and introduced an entirely new bill to basically amend the wording so that it can't be interpreted that way. And so now hunter education and National Archery in the Schools, archery type programs like the incredibly successful ones we have here today are now protected from or hold immunity from that interpretation now moving forward.
Protecting Hunting Heritage and Education Act is what a lot of folks know it as. And you think about it here, just in the state of Nebraska, tens of thousands of our school kids are impacted by those two programs, right there, hunter education and the Archery in the Schools program. Not to mention perhaps some of the other ones that might be involved, whether they've got a trap shooting club or a 4-H shooting group that gathers there as well. Now, the two we're talking about happened during the school day, but just imagine the impact if it's tens of thousands here in the state of Nebraska, what that would have meant across the nation.
I was one of those NASP kids a long time ago, and I could tell you that it'd be a lot between all 50 states.
Well, and not only that, but we had so many schools here, over 300 in Nebraska alone, 25,000 kids a year going through the program, like National Archery in the Schools program. It has been so incredibly successful at changing lives for kids, giving them that new opportunity that they didn't have. life skills. We always use the moniker changing lives 1 arrow at a time. Truly, we are. And the NASP program, I don't think there's a program around that's been as successful in the shooting sports. And all shooting sports together are important. It's not just about archery. It's all shooting sports. These kids compete at moderate to high levels in their schools all across the country. And to take that away was a huge concern. We did not want to see that happen. Millions of families did not want to see that happen, and so now we've got the interpretation that's needed.
Yep, exactly. It was kind of securing up some of the things, because like you said, not all the funds that they were kind of directed at or used towards those programs, but it could impact the overall, and they're just a shadow of doubt. Yeah. All you need to cast sometimes, and funding is so vital to those schools that they can't take chances. So that's great to hear. We appreciate all of those that made that possible. I know the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agency, a lot of our directors, our boss's boss, so to speak, really kind of helped kind of move some things forward, and some of the organizations that we're involved with, the Archery in the Schools program at the national levels, big part of that. But this was all going in the right direction. I'm glad it happened this quickly. You're always a little bit nervous about how fast things can move, but it just shows you things can get done when everybody comes to the same agreement that, boy, we got to make sure that this is the right things done here. And obviously, folks, there was only one nay vote between the Senate and the U.S. House, which I don't think. When's the last time that's happened?
Yeah, not very often.
Ever?
And hats off to Tommy Floyd, who's the president of the National Archery in the Schools program. Tommy was very much out front in Fox News and all the different angles that he could find or that came to him. He did an incredible job of representing not only the program itself, the shooting sports in general, but more importantly, millions of kids who have benefited so greatly by programs like this, and making sure that that's protected. So hats off to him and all the others that ATA and all the Archery Trade Association, all the other groups that supported this as well.
All right, we're going to jump into the hunting season like we need to and should, since we're right in the midst of it. So what have you guys been doing recently to get ready, either for the hunting season or actually getting outside and doing some hunting? Anybody been out there?
We went squirrel hunting yesterday.
We sure attempted a squirrel hunt.
You know what, Jeff? We're not going to talk about it.
It was a wonderful time to connect with friends and fellow co-workers and spend some time in
walk through
Nebraska's
the woods.
great outdoors.
Yep.
We all got to enjoy a 28 gauge. I mean, I don't think we've. Have you harvested a squirrel before yesterday?
With
the 28 gauge?
No, with the 22. No, with the 28 gauge.
Not with the 20. Me neither. Before yesterday, folks, I hadn't harvested a squirrel with the 28 gauge yesterday. Our hunting buddy Hunter, who's a common voice here on Hunt Nebraska podcast, our hunter education coordinator, in fact, he hadn't harvested a squirrel before yesterday with the 28 gauge yesterday.
And still haven't afterwards.
You don't need to bring up all the details, Michael. Sometimes it's best just to end it at one of those
that's
points.
why they call it squirrel hunting and not squirrel shooting.
That's right.
We did not go squirrel shooting.
That's right.
That's why they call it squirrel.
If you get invited on a squirrel hunt in the near future, just say, yes, but I need a rain check. Wait till all the leaves fall off the trees and all that stuff.
And also go by yourself. Then you can paint the narrative however you want it to look.
I'm just trying to keep Hershy accountable over here.
We're all trying to do that.
Anybody else?
We heard a couple, but they were hard to see. So.
Yep, we heard a couple. I found out, Jeff, that's a new trick that these youngsters play on us old guys. Hey, I hear one over there. You did?
And what's funny is we have no defense against that
listening
because we can't hear them. And so it's just take their word for it. Yeah, do you hear that? Yeah. Liar, there's no squirrel. Darn it anyway.
Oh, boy.
Kids are mean. Kids are mean.
So I've been hunting in the back of the freezer, looking to clean out the last of the game of the season.
Looks like you did.
I did. So
that soup was delicious, by the way.
Did you see that sign? But you still had to try a little bit.
I might have dripped some on that sign accidentally when I pulled some out.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have any of the soup. I saw the sign. Folks, the sign said something. Julia's got a workshop tonight, and the sign said something like "Death to all who raise this lid" or something. So we didn't go after any of the soup.
I mean,
we got
could be poison in it.
We got a smell.
I put poison in it.
Wouldn't bother me.
No.
Not sure I'd go with that one, Julia. But
in fact, it was to be expected.
Actually, it might be poison to you if you're allergic to anything in it. But no, I'm really excited. I've cleaned out, cut up the pheasant. So it's a pheasant bean soup, and then cleaning up the last of the ground venison that we have in the chili.
So
it's good. So you're going to have to replenish.
now, how many ladies do you have coming to this workshop tonight?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
23.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't take any soup. I'd hate to be the one that 23rd gal's like, I'd love to.
Or there might be 2, or there might be 3, or there might be 32.
Or 23.
Yeah, it
Or
doesn't
there'll
sound like
be-
we're going to negotiate any soup. boys.
Maybe there'll be leftovers tomorrow. Maybe.
That's what we're banking on. That's what. Well, the family of 6 though usually take leftovers home, so I'm not so sure we're gonna.
But
on
I
this.
don't know that they would do this bean soup.
They wouldn't.
No, huh?
They wouldn't.
No.
I've called ahead. They don't want any.
No.
First of all, being in a family as you are with a bunch of boys, beans and boys,
Oh,
they go together
Risky.
too well.
mercy.
Risky. Very
well.
risky. Don't take them.
Well,
home.
don't just don't say the boys. There is a female in that house too, a 6 years old and loaded.
Mom, it smells like bean soup from last week.
Yeah, and they like their chili with fart beans.
Well, don't we all? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, the more
Good fiber.
the musical fruit, the more you eat, the more. Never mind. Here we go.
Yeah.
Moving on.
oh man. All right. So, anybody else? So you've been hunting in the freezer. We've been squirrel
clean out
hunting,
the
Jeff.
freezer.
You know, dove hunting. I've been doing that, but other than that, this week I was out of town, so I didn't get to do any hunting this week. So, but did get to go to Calgary, Canada, of all places, this week, which was kind of fun for the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies meeting, and kind of an interesting trip. In fact, I'm the kind of guy, and everybody in this room knows that probably, but I'm a talkative son of a gun until I get on a plane. When I get on a plane, don't bother me. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to hear about your life story. I really don't care. I just want to be left alone. And I did the talking this time, and I didn't plan on that, but I sat down in my seat, and I was dreading it because I had a middle seat on this flight.
Ooh.
Don't like middle seats.
The
Don't
dreaded
care for,
middle
yes,
seat.
I had the
And
middle
how
seat.
long was the flight?
2.5 hours.
Ooh.
And I'm sitting in that middle seat, and I look over my shoulder, and right away, this kid sitting next to me, he looked just like our very own Hunter Nikolai. Could have been his twin brother, beard and all, and the short beard and everything.
Looked like Eric Church with glasses.
No, not Eric Church. No, not your heartthrob Eric Church from the country music world. This is Hunter Education, different group. But anyway,
okay.
So, but anyway, he had a huge bull elk on his phone.
Oh boy.
And so I look at that bull elk, and of course it's a big bull elk, right? So I look over.
So you know
and-
where he's going.
Well, I had to say hi, and I had to say, that's a big bull elk. Nice job. And I said, where did you see that? And he said, well, I just coming back from New Mexico. My wife and I have been bow hunting for elk for the last 10 days. And he said, I shot this one just the other day. Wow. And of course, I'm like, wow, we celebrate that where I'm from. Well, we got into this big conversation, and it was interesting. It turns out he and his wife are co-owners with some other partners of a company called Rock House Motion or something like that. And that's what they do. They go out hunting and they video, and they do video work for like Yeti, all these different organizations and whatnot. Anyway, and so we got talking about the state of the world when it comes to hunting and whatnot. And it was a perspective that I thought very interesting. His perspective, good guy, young guy, millennial age type guy. But his perspective was, kind of gotten this talk about R3 and, our hunters, and perspective was kind of, guys like me, we're diehards. We probably spend more days afield than the average Joe. State Fish and Wildlife Agency should really be catering to us because we're the ones that run conservation. We're the ones who support hunting more than anybody. And went on and on and on. And I was like, wow, it's kind of taken back. So we had to have a conversation about that. So we had a long 2-hour conversation. And I think I opened his eyes. He certainly opened my eyes. But neat guy, really neat guy. And heck, they're heading to Montana next week for another bow hunt.
Oh, wow.
And then back, they live in Canmore, Canada. Now, if you ever have put a dot on the map of Canmore, Canada, the backyard of Canmore, Canada is a beautiful little spot called Banff. And Banff is North America's most rugged wilderness you'll ever see. It would challenge any country. And so you've got Glacier, Waterton, and Banff, all in that Rocky Mountain, Bitterroot mountain range that kind of melds through there. And so anyway, he's living the dream, no question about it. So hats off to him. But neat perspective.
We have to talk about that sometime
Yeah.
as far as who R3 really is for. And,
Did you get his
all
card?
that.
Good.
Yeah, we exchanged
he-
numbers. We've actually been texting back and forth a little
Oh.
bit already.
Did he invite
Nice.
you on a hunt yet?
He actually did. In fact, he wanted me to join him for dinner, and I said, "Look, I can't. I'd love to." And he said, "Well, can you come over? Can you delay your flight and come out for the weekend?" And because he said we don't leave till like Monday or Tuesday or something. And I said, honestly, he said, "Oh God, we'd take you to Banff." And I thought, "Oh God!" And he showed me a picture of their house. It's a contemporary type cabin. It's not log, but it's wood and glass. It's really beautiful. And his backyard is a mountain range to die for, with a big, huge river and a glacier on the top of all of it. And it was just about as cool as could be for living accommodations.
This is pretty impressive. So in this conversation, I've learned two things. Some folks think that our Hunter Nikolai looks like Ed Church. Is that right?
When he's got
Eric
the
Church.
glasses
Eric
on.
Church.
Eric
Only
Church.
when he's got his sunglasses
same
on.
Same person, same family. And now you're going to talk to more people on planes to
And
see if you can't get a hunting trip
Well,
out
if they
of it.
start with if they flash a bull elk in front of me, all bets are
Well,
off.
I was going to say you don't like to talk to people, but it sounds like you initiated the conversation.
Bull elk, Hershey. Bull elk.
The bull elk initiated
Bull
the
elk.
conversation.
So I do
I'd
know
talk
of
to you if you had a picture of a bull elk.
I do know a young man that his name's Wyatt, and he has autism, but he is a phenomenal hunter, and he shot a moose this week.
No way.
Way, I have a picture.
Well, let's just see the picture here. Folks,
Yes.
could you hold on for a second? We've got some business to attend to. Just see what we got here for Wyatt's bull elk. You've known Wyatt for
keep
quite a
talking.
few years now, right?
I've only known him probably for 6 months.
Oh, I thought you had a Wyatt, a friend that you've known for a while now.
No,
But
but
he
that
shot a
is
bull elk.
Wyatt.
Oh,
Wyatt Bader, and he shot a moose.
Wow. Now, folks, you can't see this, but the the antlers are definitely bigger than Wyatt.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's
He,
a beautiful looking bull
he's
moose. Any moose is a
done
beautiful looking
several
moose.
exotic
moose.
type hunts.
Wow.
Yeah. Very
Well,
impressive.
New hero right there.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
you know what he also has at home?
Oh.
Cows.
I knew there was a connection. I was like, I bet it's
boy.
a cow kid.
He's a cow kid.
cows.
Yeah. If you don't know, folks, our very own Julia Plugi is connected to cows in a way that you can't even understand. It's lifeline. Lifeline.
See now, Michael, if we were more successful yesterday, we'd have pictures of squirrels to show, and I could show you how this.
You're correct.
There's
Yeah.
if I'm gonna look at a picture of a bull moose
We'd
or a
all be sitting there
squirrel,
going, look at the ears on that
this-
squirrel.
I think I know
Those
what
are
we're
huge
picking.
ears. Those are some big old
This is
ears.
Michael.
that
I met him a
bushy
few
tail.
months.
This is Hershey. He's our friend.
This
that
is
we met.
Michael. I met him a few months ago, and that's a squirrel.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on.
Pictures of the harvest.
We're gonna play a little game here, folks. This is one that's been made famous around the world, around the state, whatever you want to call it. It's Would You Rather. It's a fun game where you actually take on some scenarios. They might be realistic, most of them are not, and you kind of have to decide between the two options. There is no third option. You can't say none of the above or anything like that, but you've got to choose. And just to get the juice is flowing a little bit because we're going to put a little hunting spin on it.
Oh.
That's what this paper here is for, because we're coming into it. In hunting, there's all sorts of interesting situations you find yourself in. Isn't there?
there is.
Yeah. Entertaining people on, a 2-hour flight, for example.
Would you rather hunt Montana or New Mexico?
There you go.
Interesting
There you go.
enough for the vistas, Montana, but gosh, there's some beautiful elk in New Mexico.
I bet so.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. So we've got some of these cards right here, straight folks from the Would You Rather game, the deck that I've been spilling. I spilled this thing twice getting it here in the hallway. These are some slippery
It's a
cards.
challenge. It'd be a challenge.
So here's some just random questions from the game, and then we'll give it a little a hunting twist to it. But the first one is: would you rather, when faced with an attacking I'm having trouble speaking today.
tackling?
When faced with an
an
attacking
tackling?
grizzly bear, be armed with a guitar made of maple or with a saxophone?
Interesting choice.
Saxophone.
Saxophone? Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because you could just loudly squeal and send it away. Or it has
I
a
think
reed in
there'll
it,
be-
and you could take that reed and poke him.
I think guitar.
Or you could bash him over the
that
head
reed's
with a
like
guitar.
3 inches long. If you're poking that,
He lives in a
Have you
dream
heard
world
Don't
that you
Poke
can
the Bear?
imagine.
I think that's
A dream
literally
world
calling.
you can imagine.
Literally called
Okay,
poking a grizzly
then you
bear.
could take it, the whole saxophone, and whack.
See, I don't think you need the sax. There'll be plenty of screaming or whatever you call it. There'll be plenty of that without a saxophone. Trust me when I say that. and it'll smell. But anyway, I think I would probably want the maple guitar.
The maple guitar.
Yep.
Michael, you're the deciding vote right now.
Oh, I'm going to go with the saxophone. Loud noises.
All right, we're going to find out about your hygiene. This is the morning ritual right here.
Oh, boy.
Okay? Getting ready to go to work. Would you rather have to go to work in the morning without doing anything in the way of cleaning up except for brushing your teeth?
Oh, phew.
Or do everything to clean up except you're not allowed to brush your teeth? So basically, do you want to come to work having brushed your teeth and nothing else done in the morning? Or would you want to do everything else, shower, deodorant, and all that, but not brush your teeth?
Not brush my teeth.
Okay, there's one.
That's what coffee's for.
I'm there with you. That's awesome.
It doesn't say you can't use mouthwash.
And the rest of us so appreciate it.
Yeah, but mouthwash doesn't get the fur off the teeth completely.
That's true. That's smart.
the fur
You
smell
do a little, kind of run the tongue over a couple times.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
So you'd rather shower and all that and not brush your teeth before you come to work?
I'm going to agree with Julia.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Jeff?
So it depends if I'm hunting or coming to work. If I'm going hunting, I'd almost rather have a shower.
Going to work. It says right there, have to go
not
to
worry
work.
about teeth. But if I'm going to work, I think I'd rather brush my teeth.
Rather brush your teeth. All right.
So you'd rather look good for the nature.
Just feel better, you know?
Got to put on his product. No.
Got his product bag.
Oh, boy.
I never thought about that. I could take a product bag with me into the field. That's not a bad idea.
Oh,
It'd
here's
just be
another
full
work
of
one.
almond
New addition to
M&Ms.
the duck blind this fall.
Almond M&Ms and a cigar. Yeah, cigar. Do a product bag for me, but anyway.
All right, here's another work one. Would you rather be forced to run on a giant hamster wheel at work every day for an hour or drink only from a baby bottle every day?
For an hour? That's a long time.
Do the analytics on it.
I'd run the backwards.
How would you do again?
I'd run.
For those who are listening, the visual,
Sorry, you're watching this one on YouTube here.
YouTube might be the way to go for this
folks,
episode.
you gotta watch this one. I'm sorry.
I mean, I always say that, like, I have those moments when the hamster has fallen off the wheel, and that, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd go with the hamster wheel. I'm not big on straws anymore, so just the baby bottle would be taking it one step further than a straw.
So a hamster wheel for an hour or drinking from a baby bottle?
Or drinking from a baby bottle every day.
Like for the rest of your life? Or
I would assume
Every day you're at work.
However you want to interpret every day.
or an hour on the hamster wheel every day?
Or an hour on the hamster wheel
I'd
every day at
rather
work.
do the hour on the hamster wheel. I might lose some weight on this deal. So if I have to, I have to. So, I mean, I kind of go with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's a
you
long
do in
time, though.
15-minute increments, too.
I'm sure I'd do the...
it's true. It didn't say an hour all at once.
I'm
It
sure
said
I'd
an
fall back
hour.
and do the old... What'd you do again?
This next one more from the deck of cards here, then we'll get into the hunting ones, I promise. But this is one that popped up that, Jeff, you get to answer this one first. Would you rather have a coworker fired for something you did or be forced to fire a coworker who is 1 year away from retirement?
I'd rather be forced to fire a coworker who's one way away from retirement.
1 year from retirement.
Couldn't stand the thought of somebody being fired for something I did.
All right. Anybody else?
I thought we already talked this one.
We did. It was in the hallway, but Jeff
yeah.
wasn't there.
Totally the
He wasn't-
retirement one.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all said the other one, but
I mean, I'm assuming they deserved it. So
yeah. It doesn't say they don't. It just they're getting blamed for
you gotta
something you
make
did this
assumptions they
time.
deserved it.
All right, so we're not doing the board game. In fact, to my experience, the would you rather just as much fun doing it around this with a group of people that you're wanting to get to know a little bit better, rather than moving a piece around the board. But for a hunting one, just to make sure this is random, these are random would you rather questions that I made up, and some of them make sense, some of them don't. I understand that completely. But we've got our novelty, thanks to our outdoor outreach programs. We've got a novelty pair of dice right here. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. You can see those big things right there. I've got 15 different scenarios. These dice will figure out how they equal 15. So, Julia, we'll let you, since you're the guest from the She Goes Outdoor podcast, we'll let you roll first, and we'll choose off one of the 15 items here
So
that we
how
have. So
are we
roll them
gonna-
both.
Okay, I was going to say, how are we going to get to 15?
Well,
We're
once
not.
we start marking off, so once somebody gets like
Geometry.
12
We
and
use
they roll
geometry.
another 12, we'll go.
3.
3
Times 5 is 15.
Oh, here's a
Wow.
waterfowl question. And folks, you can play along right along with us. Make sure you comment down below on some of these questions. First one, would you rather, for the rest of your life, shoot your limit of ducks every day, but you only ever shoot the same species day after day after day that you go hunting, or only shoot a couple of ducks every time you go duck hunting, but they're of different species?
Do I have to know the species that I'm hunting?
Well, yeah, you're going to have to know the species you're hunting. But if you choose the first one, say it's teal. Every day you go teal hunting, you always shoot your limited teal, but it's only ever teal. It's only ever blue-winged teal, for example.
I'd go with the different species. 2 per day. different
variety of
species.
life.
I went for a little bit of variety.
All right,
A little different flavor, different look, different everything.
a little different. Okay, all right.
I like to change up things.
I'd go with option 2.
Option 2,
Yep,
also a little
option 2.
variety of
Yeah.
life.
Yep, I'd go with tier 2 as well.
Oh my goodness.
I see what you did there.
There you go. And folks, tier 2 is another option for those going duck hunting this year.
3 ducks, not 2, but close enough.
3 ducks, not 2, and we're getting the same amount of interest in it as we are having the first 2 years. So that's pretty cool. You can check our podcast out about tier 2 that we did with John McKinney, our waterfowl program manager. All right, well, that one was pretty easy. That's how easy it is. So you guys like variety in life, huh?
Absolutely.
That's kind of the fun of duck hunting, though, isn't it?
It is.
All right, deer hunting, we've got mule deer and whitetail, and a lot of spots. If you're going after mule deer, you got to have a special tag now. Pheasants, there's only one you can shoot. Quail, Bob White. But what do we say, Jeff? 16 different species of ducks that
16
pass through
different
here in the
species.
state of Nebraska. Oh, that's pretty impressive. All right, somebody else roll the dice. Let's get into another one.
There you
So
go,
3
Michael.
is off the table. We don't have to do that one again. 5. Ooh, here you go. Here's a deer hunting question for you folks. Would you rather have breath that smells like doe-in-estrus or body odor with the smell of buck tarsal scent?
Oh.
Huh? This is a tough decision right here.
I'm sure you should ask that question, Hershey.
And this would be very helpful here in another month, Jeff.
Not so sure that should ever be very helpful.
Well, but he brushed his teeth before he went out, so.
No, not hunting. Not hunting. I've washed.
Is this
Oh,
I
that's
go
right.
hunting.
So we know where you're going.
Yeah.
is this all the time or only while you're in the field?
It's all the time. Have breath that smells like doe-estrus or body odor that smells of buck tarsal.
See, if you smell like buck tarsal, you might be able to get bucks come in looking for a fight a little easier. but-
Yeah, you might. That'd be interesting when you're downtown Lincoln, Nebraska.
yeah, it would. Oh, I
Who's
guess.
that deer coming into Brewski's? Well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. Oh,
Here comes Stinky.
I guess I'll go with option 1.
Doe-estrus. All right.
I
All right.
guess,
One vote
yeah.
for doe-estrus.
I'm
Julia?
going to go with 1, too, because you can
My
always mask
goodness.
that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can.
See, that's kind of where I'm going. I'm going that and a pack of gum. I'm going to see what happens. Yeah,
Minty estrus.
yeah, minty estrus.
Heavy on the winter green and the mint.
Thanks for that, Julia. Bottom line is, you can't. If you smell like a rutting tarsal
See, I-
buck, you're going to smell bad.
There's
I
no
gotta-
way to cover that up.
I got to assume, though, that with your body odor, you kind of become used to it. We all have our own scent. I mean, that's
You
how
become
dogs-
used to it, not
all
everybody
that
else.
stuff. Well, that's fine,
The
but
fact is, he wrote these questions, though. That's what scares me. That's what's concerning.
The creativity's at best.
Is it?
But I
is it
gotta
though?
say-
Is it? I'm going to say, is it? That's weird. I'm sorry.
when you guys have bad breath, don't you taste it already? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, it's just like, ew. Now you got to.
But I
Tastes
don't
like
know that I
doe-estrus,
can't
though, yeah.
stand smelling myself either. So I'm like,
All right, you guys came to consensus on that. Jeff, it's your roll right here. Let's see what you got.
All right.
We got a waterfowl question out of the way. We got a duck hunting
5. Gotta do
question
it
out of the
again.
way.
Here, you gotta roll another one.
All right, no, we'll go to 15.
Oh.
This has to do with we're back to waterfowl. 15. Would you rather hunt waterfowl in a pond with leaky waders or be in a pit blind with a flatulent buddy?
Pit blind with flatulent Betty. Because I'm used to that.
Okay.
There's like no change whatsoever. But leaky waders are always leaky waders. I've done that too. Not fun. Not fun.
Julia, you look concerned.
I'm thinking leaky waders.
That invite from Jeff to go goose hunting
I was
is
going to say,
taking
she's
on
already had the flatulent Betty.
taking on a different scent, hasn't it?
Yeah. Man, this has got a lot of scenty Are we all concerned that these questions all have to do with
He's a little boy at heart. He's a
Hunting
little boy
comes
at
with
heart.
many cents.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, just go to the sporting goods department of any major
Hoping
store.
for common sense here.
They got it by, they sell it by the bottle.
Well,
I'm gonna go with the goose pit. I mean, I've been playing turkey and deer blinds with a flatulent buddy, so I don't imagine the goose pit can be that much
Well,
worse.
think about it. If you're in
So
a goose
the
pit and you
two
can't find a
guys-
flatulent buddy, guess what?
Julia, what does that say?
You're the flatulent.
You're the
buddy.
flatulent buddy.
Julia, what does it say though? The two guys pick, a fart
Stinky
buddy,
boys.
a fart buddy, but not the leaky waders. I gotta
I'm
assume
actually
leaky waders
surprised
be
with
okay.
you. I honestly
Yeah.
think had you had leaky waders on a cold morning, you'd be like, "Where's the farty guy?" I mean, I just don't think you're being honest. I don't.
The scent goes away eventually. The cold does
No,
not.
I don't think
don't
you're being
know.
honest.
I think if he's truly flatulent, then it renews itself every now and then. It's like that plug-in that you put at home.
Because I too have been
Every
in the
couple of-
blind with a
Febreze.
flatulent buddy. So I'm just saying. So
Yeah, my son.
okay, okay.
Now you know why I'm going to the.
He's not confirming nor denying this.
At least I think a goose or waterfowl pit, you usually have some way for it to waft up. Where in like a pop-up blind you use turkey hunting or something like that, everything is made to stay
Oh, it's,
inside.
circles
it's 10
in.
It can
times
be
worse
pretty
in
bad,
a
so-
pop-up blind.
So, all right, Julia, your roll. Here we go. You guys that was the only dissension we've had so
Are these
far.
all stinky ones? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Let's find out.
Fine.
Fine. All right, here. No, this is a shooting one. Like we talked about last week, we went sporting clay shooting last week. And so this one popped up in timely manner here. Would you rather be known as a tremendous shot and miss several easy opportunities while you're out hunting, or be known as a terrible shot but make some impossible ones every once in a great while?
I think I was out last weekend when I'm a terrible shot and make some amazing ones every once in a while.
Okay.
You
All
did
right.
make a few amazing
Surprise.
ones.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels good.
I was impressed. In fact, I think you were like, somewhere in the middle on you. You didn't win, but you didn't lose.
Right. And that makes me feel good.
Yeah, it should. It should.
Jeff, what about you? Reputation matter?
It kind of does because I am a pretty good shot, and I have just had some horrible blunders when it comes to shooting, especially on waterfowl, especially on doves, and especially at the clays range. So that's probably where I'm at. I'm a good shot, and I can shoot really well until I don't. And then sometimes you can't snap out of it for a while.
So you'd rather be known as a tremendous shot, but you
Yeah.
miss easy ones. Okay. All right.
Number 2, under promise and over deliver. Sometimes.
Yep.
Under promise and over deliver.
That's pretty good. All right. So there's some more dissension. We like that. But two of you voting for you'd rather be known as a terrible shot, but make impossible ones every once in a while. All right. Whose role is it? So,
Back to Julia. No, it's Michael's.
Julie, it's my
all right.
turn.
Don't roll a 5, whatever you do.
I will try not to.
Six.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, you delivered there. All right. Oh, here's another deer hunting one. And this one's pretty specific, Jeff. Would you rather have to hunt the entire year without your rattling antlers?
Oh.
Or solely hunt from the ground? And this, we're talking archery deer here. Gonna make that note. Archery deer.
I know.
Without the entire year, without rattling antlers, or solely hunt from the ground while archery hunting. You rolled it, so we'll let you go first there, Michael.
Solely hunt from the ground because that's pretty much what I do already.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not a.
It can be done.
I'm not a big tree stand guy.
This
Now,
is a
granted, I'm
shocker.
not a-
Heights.
This is a shocker for you.
Granted, I'm not a big archery deer guy either. But rifle deer hunting, I sit on the ground. So
Julia can't even take the stairs. I'm just telling you right
Nope.
now.
So
Right.
you're solely hunting from the ground. That was an easy
Yeah.
one for
Yep.
you. Really?
Yep.
Well, I
You've
thought
heard
this would be a
me-
little tougher. So
I can't
Jeff,
stand the heights.
You've heard me say it. I do not go to the deer woods without my antlers. Period. I don't care if I'm hunting from a tree, from a ground, a pit. I will not go without the antlers, especially when we get into late October.
okay.
Period.
All right. So far, you guys all agreed on
Everything but the stinky?
shooting variety of ducks. You guys would rather have breath that smells like doe pee. You guys all most
With
of
a
you'd rather
pack
have
of mint
flatulent
gum.
pit-
Don't forget the pack of mint gum.
flatulent hunting buddies. But you do vary
that's
a little
just-
bit on
that's just
Julia said
That's
she'd
just
have
fun.
leaky waders.
hunting from the ground and leaky waders. Yep, she did want leaky waders. All right, here we go. We got time for
I think
just
she's
one
being
more round
honest.
here, Jeff. I think it's your roll right here.
Okay.
He's taking his time.
I am. Working into it here.
5
Best
again.
out of 3. 6.
6. Gosh, dang it.
8. We'll go 8.
There we go. We have
there.
a winner. We have a winner. Oh, here's a squirrel question.
Oh,
this is
gosh.
timely. Here we go.
No, it is.
Would you rather have squirrels the size of deer or deer the size of squirrels?
That's a tough one, yeah. I'm going to say squirrel the size of deer.
Really?
If we had squirrels the size of deer,
I think they'd be mean.
we'd have. They would. you'd have to sit with
ginormous
your back
tail.
to a tree. I know that, but you'd change the gun you use too. But I think that'd be a hoot. That would just be a hoot. You'd be sitting there calling squirrels with your buddy looking out for you.
Can you imagine how much noise they'd make, though?
Oh, oh yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun because deer the size of squirrels.
That's a little back loin.
That's a little back loin, you know.
That back strap's like
That's weird, huh?
You think a deer is hard to skin. You think a squirrel the size of a deer, though, is going to be hard to skin. That's going to take a lot of work. Oh, man.
I think you
Two
just singe the fur
semis
right
full.
off. I think you just light a fire and singe the fur. I think
Flamethrower.
That's what you're going to do.
Put it on the spit right there.
Yep, there you go.
Julia, are you in agreement with Jeff? Squirrels the size of deer rather than deer the size of squirrels?
I just think of that big old tail. I
Oh,
mean, that
my
is
God.
the biggest ass.
That'd be a throw for the couch every time you shot a squirrel. Oh, my God.
Now we've got the largest rodent. Oh,
Yeah, we finally win that one.
Yeah.
Aren't we proud?
Oh, okay, Michael, you can make it a.
You know what? I'll take squirrels the size of deer. I relish the challenge.
Squirrels. All right, no one's. You heard it here first, folks. All right, everyone is in agreement. Squirrels the size of deer. All right, we got time for just one more round here. We're gonna roll out and see what's
I
going
just
on.
want to know what's going on up there. Is it like a Dr. Seuss book up there all the time? Or
Well,
what?
you got to have something going on. I
I
mean,
guess so.
Here we go.
That's
I'll roll
interesting.
again.
this is the reality in which I live. folks.
4. Have we had 4 yet?
Oh, here's a pheasant hunting question. You were talking about wanting to get into pheasant hunting during one of our preseason prediction shows. Folks, you can listen on that on SoundCloud or whatever audio program you download your podcast from. But this is a pheasant hunting question. Would you rather have a great hunting dog that only finds hens, or have a wild dog that constantly busts rooster pheasants too far away to shoot?
Say it again. A pheasant hunting dog.
Have a great hunting dog that only finds hens,
Okay.
or have a wild dog that constantly busts roosters too far away to shoot?
Well, they both suck. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a
kind of
double
the
whammy.
question here. It's double suck.
Yeah, it's a double suck deal. So, having had a dog that seemed to prefer hens over roosters, and having had a dog that seemed to prefer hunting for himself versus anybody on the planet around him, I can say the one that's the most frustrating is the dog that only hunts for himself and busts roosters while you're not even, got the shells in the gun out of the vehicle yet. So, it's not even my turn yet. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
Now that I led you all the way down to the path to my decision,
All right,
I'm going to
I will take the dog that only points
I don't
roosters.
mean to.
The dog that
Steer you in
only
any
points
direction.
hens. The dog that only points hens.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been on enough pheasant hunts to know, but I guess I'll take the dog that only points hens. At least he's not scared.
Now, if the other
roosters
one's
from
trainable,
everywhere.
score. I mean, you can train him, right? Not
Oh
always
no,
the
he's
case.
wild. It says so right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
Wild
Oh
dog.
boy. All right, Julia. You can be the one voice of dissension, or you can.
So
agree.
this dog that's going
With
after
your-
only females, I mean, there's got to be some brains in there, right? Because they're only like
going
they
after
like
the
the
gals.
females. They like going after the females.
So he's trainable, is what you're thinking.
So at some point in time, it's going to kick up a male.
See, that's where
close
I was
to
going.
you.
There's got to be a rooster around there sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah, you think.
I'm gonna go with
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
where
going to
I'm at.
argue that one. Having lived through that, I don't think I've ever been yelled at for having a dog that didn't find a rooster but behaved. Where I think anyone that's ever had a bird dog has always had their buddies give you a hard time and shun you for a short time if all your dog does is bust them wild.
Short time. I remember getting out of the truck and having hunting buddies go, "Oh, Max looks tired, Jeff. You might want to leave him in the truck on this one." And I'm like, "It's the first hunt of the morning." He would yawn. They're like, he's looking pretty tired.
He needs
I
a
don't
nap.
think he should. Let's put him back in the kennel. I think he's limping. Let's put him back in the kennel. It was embarrassing.
Pace that dog. Okay. Michael, here we go. Your turn.
I just rolled.
A 4.
Well, didn't you just
a complete 4.
Did you roll out a turn?
I did. You said one more, so I just grabbed him.
Ooh, back to the big 8.
8. We already did 8.
Big 9. I see 9.
We'll do. Oh,
We
no,
do 6
can't.
times 2 for 12, or do we already do 12?
There you go.
We'll go to 13.
13, there it is.
Would you rather hunt with a buddy's dog who constantly humps your leg, or hunt with a buddy who constantly? We can't read that one. We can't read that one.
Wow.
No.
He included it just to have that bit right there.
Roll again.
This used to be a family show, Hershey.
3.
3. We've already done it.
Right on 3. 7.
Oh, we have not done
7. Here we go. Oh, here's another deer hunting question. This is going to be common for some of our archers out there, knowing how skilled they are. Would you rather, Julia, be surrounded by dozens of doe deer all the time, never see a buck, or have to sit entire seasons without seeing any deer, but having the slight chance that you might see the deer of a lifetime?
We're going to go back to surrounded by does because I have been in that situation the last few years. Nothing. Even a doe would be down.
Even doe. So you'd go with the doe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you want to see deer. This is one that actually probably plays out a little bit in our minds every year. I'm going to shoot the big buck, but all of a sudden you're like, do I want to see deer or do I want to just roll the dice and just see a deer and maybe see deer? All right, so doe. All right. Michael?
I'll probably take at least, if I want to shoot one, then surrounded by does, at least I have my options.
Yep. So you're voting for always surrounded by does, never bucks.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. We got 2 like votes, Jeff. Where are you sitting on this one?
I got to descend on this one.
Oh.
Where I hunt in the Pine Ridge, a lot of does, but I can be surrounded by them every day, all day. It doesn't do any good. So I'm waiting for the 1 buck. And so.
So you'd be willing to sacrifice the entire season?
He has.
I have. I've done that many times. Even and I shouldn't say this, but even for not the right buck, sometimes I've sacrificed entire season. So it doesn't bother me to sacrifice the season.
Okay.
I don't consider it a sacrifice if I've had the joy of being out there all season long. It doesn't bother me one bit.
All righty. One more. Well, I'll give you this one free, and then we'll roll for the last one. This is kind of an interesting one. This is number 9. Nobody's rolled a 9 yet. Would you rather have access to 5,000 acres of public land to hunt or 50 acres of private land to hunt?
Am I the only one on the public land?
Oh, it doesn't say.
Not likely.
Well, it is open to public, but it doesn't say. You're right. There's a chance that you're not going to be.
Go with what you know. How many acres on that?
50.
5,000 acres of public or 50 acres of private?
That's a big spot. 5,000 acres is a lot
big.
of land.
That's a really big spot.
I mean, you're
That's
not
a lot of land that you'd have to walk.
I'm going with 50 acres of private. That's what I'm used to.
The walking part didn't sound too good there, the way you said walk.
walk.
My grandparents' farm back home is about 200 acres, and of those 200 acres, probably about 50 to 70 is actual good huntable. Got some timber, got some water sources.
Yeah, so you got a buffer there. So
that's what I know.
That one's 4 times this.
So,
this just says 50, so it doesn't. Yeah. It probably butts right up against.
Most of it's hay field and cattle pasture that doesn't really have much of anything going for it there. But there's so I'm used to hunting about 50 acres or so.
Okay,
so that's what I'm going with.
I'm going to stick with the 50 acres.
50 acres, private land.
Until the tax bill comes.
Spoken like a farmer.
I just sold that.
It's looking like a Nebraskan.
Now, are there cows on this 50 acres, or is it cow free?
It just says.
Would you like humans or cows?
Or 50 acres of private.
Cows.
At least I can scare the cows away.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There's no question for me. I've already done this for many, many years. So 50 acres of private.
50 acres.
We've
all
killed
in agreement there.
We've killed a lot of deer off of 40 acres over the last 20 years.
All right, roll the dice. Jeff, I think you got the final roll. Here we go. This is going to be it. This is for. It's all tied up here, right here. Perfect.
8. Or we could do 4.
Ooh. Would you? Oh, this is another shooting one. This is a good one. This happened to all of us. I know it has. So which would you rather have happen? Would you rather miss an easy shot because you forgot to load your gun or because you left the safety on?
Because I left the safety on.
One for safety on.
Because I could take that off real fast and recover. Not so much when you forget to load the gun.
Same.
Okay.
Ask me how I know. I played both scenarios in my life.
We missed a lot of clay targets last week from those safeties.
The safety has saved many pheasants,
Yeah,
is
it
a
has.
phrase spoken by Jeff Rawlinson about 5 times last week.
It so has.
So going back to that point, because you're exactly right. I think every single one of us left the safety on at least once. Mm-hmm.
Actually, it improved my shooting, actually.
I was going to say, how many of us took the safety off and then proceeded to shoot and break that clay target that we were shooting at? I can't think of any examples.
No. We had to have a 3 thrown.
All right. So we got 2 for leaving the safety on.
I'll do the
You're to stay in agreement. All right.
I've had that happen where I've had the safety on, buck out in front, you go, and it's not completely intuitive at first, right? Because it's not working and it's supposed to be working.
There you go.
But you can easily pop safety off, get right back on that deer, and I've done that.
For some stationary targets, you're right. You can do that pretty quickly. Yeah. I was thinking for those that are fleeing, the flying, running, or something like that, probably doesn't matter what happens there.
Yep.
It's probably one and the same. But I have done it with turkeys. Out you mentioned it, where you realize, oh
no,
they put shells in. Oh my goodness! All right, folks. I hope you had some fun. If you disagreed with us in any of those, or have some of your own would you rather scenarios that you want us to answer, you can put that in the comments down below. But it is hunting season, so make sure you got all those preparations well underway or accomplished, so you can get out into the field. But until next time. Hunt Nebraska, brought to you by your Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.